I have
Well, good evening, everyone, and welcome to our live stream and Zoom online meeting tonight. My name is Ryan Fernandez, and I'm your MC. I want to welcome everyone who's watching, whether you're on Zoom, like many of us, or watching via FB Live or YouTube live stream. We welcome you tonight. Uh, this is actually Career Crash Course, which is a weekly get together where we discuss ideas on leadership, personal growth, success, and business. And just a little bit of trivia, a lot of these ideas which we talk about, a lot of these insights actually come from best-selling books on personal growth and business. And rather than you trying to go through these books, and I know you're all very busy, what we do is we invite a volunteer, a special guest to share what they think of a specific book and take that and share it and apply it in their own life. And hopefully you can get some of those ideas and also find them useful in your life. So we've been doing this for quite some time for the last few months in person in live events, but because of the lockdown, we've decided to share this to even a bigger audience online. So wherever you're watching, we welcome you, especially our first time attendees. And if you're watching from Zoom, if you're logged in with us on Zoom, you can actually take advantage of the chat box and join in and be engaged. And our guest sharer will try to make it as interactive as possible And you can still have a chance to share this with your friends. You can watch it, and we're going to also record it, and you can watch it at a later date if that's something you enjoy. But tonight's event, like all Career Crash Course webinars and live streams, is sponsored by Syzygy Philippines. And Syzygy Philippines is actually a leadership search and development organization co-founded by yours truly. And we empower and educate and equip professionals in entrepreneurship. So this is just something we want to do for everyone, for the public, you know, and keep ourselves busy despite the lockdown. Now, if you're like me, you've done a lot of spring cleaning and Marie Kondoing throughout the last 2 months, trying to be busy and streamlining and organizing things at home, or trying to fine tune some things, or finally being able to do some things you've been trying to put aside for a while, and finally you have time to do it. And tonight is no different. We actually invited a guest speaker to talk about the essentialist mindset, living not by default, but by design. And if you're like me and you're wondering what is living by default versus living by design, then we're going to learn together, and we're going to find out how it's like to think and develop a mindset of an essentialist. Okay. And our guest speaker is actually a certified Lean Six Sigma Green Belt and a national sales manager for one of the country's pharmaceutical companies. And this is not her first time sharing, but we're always excited when she offers her insights with us. And let's learn together. She's going to share some of the key ideas. And towards the end, she's going to offer some guide questions for everyone to answer. And maybe we still have time to do some Q&A. But I won't take away more of her time. I'm going to pass the mic to our guest speaker tonight for the Essentialist Mindset, PJ Palomino. Hey, PJ.
Hey, hi everyone. It's my pleasure to be here. Good evening for those who are on Zoom, on Facebook, and on YouTube. For those who saw me for the first time or is going to hear my book talk for the first time, this is what I do on during lockdown on a daily basis. I do my corporate job. I have a full-time job in sales and marketing. And during my free time, I dedicate this time doing something about my business and my passion. Of course, I never traveled since the lockdown, but since I think about it, it takes around 10% of my time. I am affiliated with Syzygy. It's a business and leadership coach company, a contributor on Career Crash Course, which is a book sharing community. I do mental health service. This is for free. I am not a psychiatrist. I just provide psychological first aid to people who we think is undergoing depression. And I am also part of a communication club where I continuously improve my communication skills so that I would be able to effectively relay such amazing or interesting information such as this one. The Career Crash Course episode tonight is based on a New York Times best-selling book called Essentialism, written by Gray McKeown. Gray McKeown draws inspiration and insights from working with leaders of big, innovative companies around the world. These companies are Google, Twitter, Facebook, Pixar, and Salesforce.com. He dedicated his career understanding why some leaders and some teams reach to a certain level of breakthrough while others do not. Okay, hold on. I haven't checked if you can hear me. or see me, or if you can see my screen. If you do, could you please type on the chat box, what is the most essential thing on top of mind? Something that is indispensable for you, something that is not subject for replacement. Your answers, I might use it later as an example as we go along. So like Doc Rico said, it sells health. Tito said it's reputation. Okay. For me, I'd say it's quality time. Sister Jess, spirituality and leadership, yes. Faith, Alex says time. Personal growth and spirituality, wow. A lot of people say spirituality. Health, yes.
We've got a lot of wise people with our in our webinar tonight, PJ.
Health, great, amazing. Okay. I cannot seem to go to the next slide, Ryan. I'm not sure. Okay, there. Now, so we are wondering why there are non-essentialists. There are essentialist people around us because practically they're everywhere. They're everywhere because I'm sorry, I have a problem with my slides. Hold on. Because there are too many choices. When we have too many choices and we are forced to choose one of these options, oftentimes the quality of our choice is compromised. There are also too much social pressure, not just information overload, but opinion overload. And there is always this feeling that you can have it all. Now, this myth of you can have it all has peddled us for so long, and it has damaged us today because options and choices has exponentially growing year on year. And people tend to ram on activities into their overscheduled lives. This is my favorite diagram on managing your energy. The arrows represents your energy. The non-essentialist exerts its energy to a lot of activities. And the result is unfulfilling experience because the energy is distributed to many activities with a millimeter of progress, while the essentialist focuses their energy to a few activities that matters. And the result, sorry, the result is a satisfying experience because they make significant progress on the things that matter most. Oops. Okay, so let's do a self-discovery test. How do we respond to difficulties and uncertainty? We don't need a pen or a paper. All I need is your full attention and your honest answer to one question. Have you heard about the bluebird? Have you not? Have you taken this test? Not yet. So if not yet, perfect. Okay. So imagine that one day a bluebird suddenly flies through your window and is trapped inside your home. There is something special about this bluebird that you decided to keep him. Let's just say that the bluebird is a male bird. But to your surprise, the next day, the bird has changed color from blue to yellow. This special bird changes color again overnight. So the next day, from yellow, it turned to bright red. And on the morning, on the the fourth day, it turns to completely black. The question is, what color is the bird when you wake up on the fifth day? 1. The bird does not change color, it stays black. 2. It turned back to its original color, which is blue. 3. It turned white. Or 4. The bird turned into golden color. So this bird changes color day by day, and on the fifth day, you woke up. How did you imagine the color of the bird would be? Is it 1 black, 2 blue, 3 white, and 4 golden? Okay, all right. Um, you posted your answers on the chat box. Okay, I have taken this test and my answer is blue, so I'm going to join in. So I'm going to read. I'm going to read the results. So your reaction to this situation shows that how you respond to difficulties and uncertainty in real life. So for those who answered black, I'm not going to check who answered black. Okay, there's no judgment here. Those who said the birds stayed black have a pessimistic outlook. Okay, I did not make this up. This is from the Cocology book. Okay, it says, do you tend to believe that once a situation goes bad, it never really turns to normal? Maybe you need to try thinking, if this is as bad as it gets, it can't get any worse. Remember, there's no rain that doesn't end and no night so dark that there's no dawn the next day. For those who answered blue, they are practical optimists. You believe that life is a mix of good and bad and that it doesn't pay to fight against the reality. You accept adversity calmly and let things run their course without undue stress or worry. This outlook lets you ride out the waves of adversity without being swept away. Those who answered white are cool and decisive under pressure. You don't waste time you don't waste time fretting and indecision, even when a crisis develops. If a situation gets too bad, you feel it's better to cut your losses and look for another route to your goal rather than getting bogged down in needless grief. This proactive approach means that things seem to just naturally go your way. For those who answered gold, can be described as fearless. You don't know the meaning of pressure. To you, every crisis is an opportunity. You might be compared with Napoleon, who said, impossible, the word is not French. But be careful not to let your boundless confidence get the best of you. It's, it's a very fine line between fearless and foolhardy. Okay, so based on these results, maybe you would want to reflect as we go along. The model. This is a comparison of how non-essentialists and the essentialists. Non-essentialists think all things to all people. They think like this: oh, there's so much things to do. Everything all of these things I should do. Everything is important. Where should I start? I don't know where to start. That's how they think. But essentialist thinks that less is better. They choose what is essential from a lot of options. The non essentialist has the undisciplined pursuit of more. When they are offered with so many options, they think that these options are equal. They would take it, all of the activities. They couldn't say no. They say yes to every request. While essentialist has a disciplined pursuit of less. What the non essentialists get is a life that does not satisfy. Why? Because they take in just about everything, just take in about all of the activities, all of the things that they find interesting. And the result is that their work suffers. And when their work suffers, they experience inadequacy, they experience exhaustion. They feel that they are not in control. But what the essentialists get is a life that really matters. They are presented with a lot of options, they discern, and they pick up what is essential, what is aligned to their bigger goals. There are core logic of an essentialist. Number one is they choose. The invincible power of choice. The essentialists believe that the power of choice, it's not something that should be just recognized, but it's something that should be celebrated. They believe that if they will not practice the power of choice, someone will step in, not just to get that power to choose for them, but to give them an explicit permission to choose something for them. Oftentimes, it starts with what you want to have for dinner, where you want to go for vacation, what you wanted to wear, until you realize that these people has already have 100% control of your life. The non-essentialist thinks that I have to do this. It forfeits the right to choose, while the essentialist thinks or chooses this, and they exercise the power of choice. Essentialists discern the importance of practically everything. When the essentialist is presented with a lot of options, they take time to explore these options because once they have chosen, they will commit to make it big. The non essentialist thinks that almost everything is essential, while the essentialist thinks that almost everything is non essential. The non essentialist views opportunities as basically equal, while the essentialist distinguishes the vital few from the trivial many. Another core logic is trade off. Essentialist thinks, what problem do I want? Instead of thinking, what are the things that I would give up? How essentialists think is that what activity or what project will I go big on? Non-essentialist thinks that I can do both, while essentialist thinks that what is the trade-off? Non-essentialist asks, how can I do it all? While essentialist asks, how can I go big on it? There are 3 steps. Okay. Number 1 is to explore, to discern the trivial many from the vital few, to eliminate cutting out the trivial many. It is the guts to say, I'm sorry, this is not for me. And execute. Execute. Remove the obstacles. You do not decide on things quickly. You do not pressure yourself. You do not pressure yourself to decide. Instead, you find time to explore these options and remove those obstacles so that when you execute, it's effortless. Let's talk more about exploring. How can we discern the trivial many from the vital few? Without great solitude, serious work is possible, says Pablo Picasso. Number one is escape. Enjoy the perks of being unavailable. The non-essentialist is too busy doing to think about life, while the essentialist creates a space to escape and explore life. We have been on quarantine for the last 2 months, and a lot of essentialists would want to go out, go on vacation, go to the beach, enjoy a solitude moment. But I hope that even at home, we find our home a solitude place to reflect and reevaluate our goals and our dreams. Number two is they look, they see what really matters. The non essentialist pays attention to the loudest voice, while the essentialist pays attention to the signal in the voice. Non essentialist hears everything being said, while the essentialist hears what is not being said. They find meaning to body language, facial expressions, and they can read between the lines. The non essentialist is overwhelmed by all the information, and the essentialist scans to find the essence of the information. Oops, okay, let's do some another activity. Let's put two and two together to see if you're able to find the essence of an information. Let me share with you a story of Nora Ephron. Nora Ephron is an, an Academy Award winner. She is the writer of Sleepless in Seattle, When Harry Met Sally, and Silkwood. When she was a student, her instructor, ins, instructor or professor told the class, come up with a news out of this one. So this is the exact example. So it says, Kenneth L. Peters, the principal of Beverly Hills High School, announced today that the entire high school faculty will travel to Sacramento next Thursday for a colloquium in a new teaching methods. Among the speakers will be anthropologist Margaret Mead, college president Dr. Robert Maynard Hutchins, and California Governor Edmund Pat Brown. If you were the student journalist, how would you create a news out of this? Anyone? Well, some students said the principal of Beverly Hills and the entire high school faculty will travel to Sacramento next year. Next Thursday. Well, some said California Governor Edmund Pat Brown and college president Dr. Robert Maynard Hutchins will be the speakers on an event in Sacramento. Okay, depends on what you want to emphasize. But they were asked, if you were about to create a news out of this one, what would it be? And the answer is, there will be no classes on Thursday, right? If these are for the students, they don't care if the high school faculty will go to Sacramento. What they're interested about would be there will be no classes on Thursday. Okay, hashtag walang pasok. That's it. That's just what they want to know. Okay, so here we learned what to get a relevant information out of many information. Yes, hashtag no classes, right? Next, a little nonsense now and then is cherished by the wisest men. Roald Dahl said, play, embrace the wisdom of your inner child. Do you know that school is derived from the Greek word chol? I'm not sure how to pronounce it. It's spelled as schole, which means leisure. In this modern education system, sadly, we have removed the leisure and the fun part of learning. And what we tend to forget is that when we play, it fuels our creativity. The non essentialist thinks that play is trivial, while the essentialist knows that play is essential. Non essentialist thinks that play is an unproductive waste of time, while essentialist knows that play sparks exploration. So if I would ask the audience, when was the last time you played? With us being quarantined, if you have a family, when was the last time you played with your kids? When was the last time you played with your dogs or your cats? Today? Yes. Or if you're living alone, there are a lot of ways to play. Play online, play Scrabble online, play chess online. Hannah played Uno before you joined in. Before she joined in, great. Okay. So don't forget that when we play, we embrace the wisdom of our inner child. Next, Mahatma Gandhi said, each night when I go to sleep, I die. And then the next morning when I wake up, I am reborn. I've heard this from a friend who has been through a lot. And she said, I want to die. I want to die and just wake up the next day to just forget about everything. I mean, you don't have to die, really. You just need to go to sleep. So sleep and protect the asset. The most important asset for us to be able to contribute to the world is ourselves. And when we underinvest on ourselves, with that, I mean we underinvest on our mind, on our body, and with our spirit, we damage the most important tool to contribute to the world or to be of uh, to contribute greater to the world. So sleep, okay? The non-essentialist thinks that 1 hour less of sleep equals 1 more hour of productivity, while essentialists think or they know that 1 more of sleep equals several 1 more hour of productivity. Non-essentialist thinks that sleep is for failures. Essentialist thinks that it's for high performance. They think that it's a luxury. Essentialists know that it is a priority. They think that sleep breeds laziness. It breeds creativity. They say that sleep gets in the way of doing it all. It actually enables the highest levels of mental contribution. Now, if I may ask everyone, how many hours did you sleep last night? They say it's healthy to try to sleep at least 7 to 8 hours a day. It's guilty as 8.5. Whoa, that's great. Guilty of 7, 8. Wow. I mean, now that we're on lockdown, I expect that everyone gets more hours sleep. 7, 8. Oh, amazing. That's great. The inner process stands in the need of outward criteria, says Ludwig Wittgenstein. I hope I did not mispronounce. his name. Select the power of extreme criteria. Non-essentialist says yes to almost every request or opportunity, while essentialist says yes to only the top 10% of opportunities. So don't forget the 90% rule. Non-essentialist uses broad implicit criteria like, if someone I know is doing it, I should do it too. But essentialist uses narrow explicit criteria like, is this exactly what I am looking for? Let's talk about eliminating. How can we cut out the trivial many so we can focus our energy to what is more essential, what is more relevant? Okay, things that is indispensable for us: our health, our time, our reputation, quality time with family, quality time with friends, spirituality. First is clarify. Example, you are working with a team. And if there is lack of clarity within the team in terms of their goals and their roles, the team member tends to experience frustration, stress. They get exhausted. They do a lot of things. They exert unnecessary effort and spend unnecessary time to many trivial things. However, if there is a great sense of clarity on goals and roles, people rise. You put them in a level where they are able to contribute more. The non essentialist has a vague general vision or mission statement, while the essentialist has a strategy that is concrete and inspirational. Inspirational, they inspire people. The non essentialist has a value set, but no guiding principles for implementing them, while the essentialist makes one decision that eliminates 1,000 later decisions. Next is they dare. They dare to say no. Non essentialist, I'm beginning to feel sad about the non essentialist. Okay, they avoid saying no to avoid feeling social awkwardness and pressure. They are scared, okay? But the essentialist dares to say no firmly, resolutely, and don't forget, gracefully. Non essentialist says yes to everything, while the essentialist says yes only to the things that really matter. Only to the things that really matter, that is aligned to your long term goal, spirituality, quality time with family. Now, the question is, how do you say no gracefully? I remember, and I am very sure that this question was asked by someone on one of the career crash course episode, I think few weeks back. And let me share this again. You don't have to say no, okay, to say no. And remember that a clear no can be more graceful than a vague or non-committal yes. You don't have to say no, but you can be honest. For example, someone invited you. You can be honest and say, I'm sorry, but I am overly committed. Or, oh, I'm so sorry, but I have a dinner with my family that I have been looking forward to. Or, oh, I would love that, but I can't tonight. Or, oh, I don't feel well tonight. I don't feel like going out tonight. I feel like I'm gonna have flu. Just be honest, okay? But don't give a vague non-committal yes, okay? So please, if you are sure that this is something that you don't feel like doing, don't keep the other person hanging. Okay, don't say, okay, I'll see, and then you don't get back to them. That is definitely not graceful. Next, popularity versus respect. Make your peace with the fact that saying no often requires trading popularity over respect. Personally, for me, I have high respect to people who says no to do the right thing and not care about popularity. Okay, that's people like me, and I know a lot of people respect people who have the guts to say no. And it's a turn off for me if someone just says yes just to please someone. No, because in the long run, it's going to be unhealthy for you. Next, trade off. So focus on the trade off. Can I compromise something? Can I afford to compromise this so I could go big on this? And next is decide regardless. This is the most difficult thing, not just for Filipino who are very close to their family and friends, but I guess to everyone. It is hard for us to say no to family members and friends because we are afraid that we might hurt them. But if it's something that is not aligned to your bigger goals, if it's something that would compromise the most essential thing, like your spirituality, your reputation, for example, then please from the relationship. Because if this friend of yours or this family member of yours loves you really, they would understand. Next, limits. The freedom of setting boundaries.